there, Steeler Nation. Welcome to Steelers Fan Frenzy with Flip. And of course, I am Flip Fisher, staff writer for BehindTheSteelCurtain.com. I'm a little under the weather today. Or actually, for the last few days. That's why this was not done sooner. If my voice cracks like a 12-year-old, it's not because I live in my mom's basement. It's just because I'm sick. So what we're going to get into is going over the second half of Mason Rudolph versus the Colts from last Sunday. So I'm going to try to do this a little quicker than usual. So let's hop right into the film. Let's see what we have going on here. The first is going to be second and goal. And what you're going to catch here is Rudolph's going to be rolling out to the bottom here. Now, he does not have anything open here. Now I'm gonna blame Nix on this a bit for he's dragging defenders with him further up. I'm gonna blame him on a poor route right there. And of course Rudolph just throws it away, which I don't have any qualms with Rudolph throwing that away there. He made the good decision. I just think Nix, I think he rounded off his route. I think Nix had no idea where he was right there. It wasn't going anywhere. Here's the next play, third and goal. I like seeing the progression here. And he hits McDonald. But you're going to see one little thing. I'm going to nitpick on this. And I'm not going to nitpick real bad on this. Because it's a touchdown. As you just saw, he went through some progression. I like seeing that. I like seeing progression. But he missed a wide open Samuels. Instead, he threw it into the field of play here. Now, why did that happen? I'm not going to nitpick that too bad. But if McDonald gets tackled in the field of play before he scores, we might settle for a field goal. But it worked. Here's a 3rd and 4. Now, this is where he takes the terrible safety. He's got to get that ball out. But Jalen Samuels, and this is why you don't see Jalen Samuels a whole lot in pass protection. Because he's terrible. Jalen Samuels doesn't even try. That's just awful. But he's got to get that ball out. He's got to know where he's at. And I know it's a fine line, and I pick on him on both sides of not waiting for a play to progress. But, again, you see, where do you see him scanning the field? Where do you see Rudolph scanning the field? Just a little bit. And he pump faked there, and he really kind of made a wise decision. He should just throw it right into the ground. But he takes the safety. And the ball security is a little frustrating with him. He's got to hang on to that ball. But the wide receivers were completely covered. It was not going anywhere. Okay. So this is a 1st and 10. And this is a pretty big head scratcher for me right here. He's going to stare him down forever. And then he throws to a defender. We're up here. You'll see it better here where Rudolph just absolutely stares him down with a defender there. Is he... What exactly is he wanting to do? He's wanting to throw right here. But, I mean, he just keeps staring him down, and then he throws it. What's he going to get from that? Is he just throwing... I mean, that's going to be picked off. You can't do that in the red zone. I'll talk more about the red zone proficiency later in the podcast. 3rd and 14. This is where I'm going to tell you, Steeler Nation. Somebody questioned Juju of being a number one. The problem is it's not Juju. The problem is Rudolph. Rudolph is killing Juju's total production. And you just saw Juju over the... He was the one in motion. Here's Juju right here. Rudolph. Other side. Rudolph making a progression right there. Rudolph's progression. The check down king this game. There's an easy pitch and catch. That's a touchdown right there. That's an absolute touchdown to Juju. You talk about Juju not being a number one, people. It's not Juju that's killing Juju being a number one. It's Mason Rudolph absolutely destroying his productivity. It might not have been a touchdown, but that's definitely inside the 5. And this is a 3rd and 14. Yeah, I get it. Check down. Don't take the interception. But he's wide open. There's nobody around him. Killing it. Killing Juju. Here's the 3rd and 7. I don't think he saw the blitz coming here. And we'll watch this a couple of times. He didn't see that blitz coming late. Now, that's where he's got to recognize where that blitz is coming. Blitz is going to be coming from here. Coming off of Washington's man. Bam. He's got to be reading that. Washington clears. Yeah, he's getting hit. Not going to nitpick that one a lot, but he's got to read that blitz coming. And that's, of course, where Samuels fumbles the ball. But this is a 3rd and 7. You know, he's not going to hit the sticks there. And we're not going to get the first down. 1st and 10. Now, this is exactly what one of the worst slot cornerbacks in the NFL looks like. And this is Rock. This is the 40-yard pass. Ball underthrown. Easy pitch and catch. But the ball's just underthrown again. Where's the arm strength? Yeah, he can't step into it fully, but it still kind of looks like a rainbow. And of course, you see Rock there. Guy's clueless. He has no idea the ball's in the air. Doesn't read Washington. It's easy. Now, PFF does grade him as one of the worst corners in the league, and for reasons just like this. This was over 1/5 of Rudolph's total yards for the day. That's 40 yards. That's just tossing it up. It's taking advantage of a terrible corner on a bad throw. Here we go. We got a 1st and 10. And actually, it's really in goal. This is a head scratcher. Throws into double coverage. Now, if anybody can tell me why the Colts must have been tipped off to something here. Because I can't see any reason why you would double team Vanette on any play. But at least he throws it high. Double coverage. Was he staring him down? Yeah, he's staring him down. And Juju over the middle. See if we can get a better look at Juju. Juju's here in the slot. Juju open. Right there. Juju open. Right there. That's a touchdown. Again, it's not on Juju this year. And I point this out every game that I've done. Every film study I've done, Juju's open. And for whatever reason, either the offensive call is not there or Rudolph just totally ignores him. And that's frustrating to see. Now, I'm going to assume this is a design play because the ball came out so quick. I don't think this was a Rudolph check down or a Rudolph hurry up. I think it's a design play to get the ball out of his hands and not screw anything up. But it's such a bad pass. Got to give McDonald a chance. Got to give McDonald a chance here. But he doesn't. No, just a bad pass. Nobody around him. Nobody around him. This is a pass every NFL quarterback has to be making. It's easy. Dylan Hodges made a very similar pass like that against Baltimore. They got McDonald down on like the 3-yard line, 2-yard line in that game. It was a very similar play to that. And I really liked the play. But Rudolph doesn't give him a chance. Now, this is a 3rd and 8. Now, this is the game's on the line. It's late. We're basically just ran 2 running plays. Now we're going to hopefully throw a safe pass play and punt the ball and play field position. But Rudolph takes an uncontested blitz up the middle. And, again, is somebody missing a responsibility on this? Is Samuels missing that? Or is he just, I don't know. That's just unacceptable that a guy runs free up the middle. But what happens here? Rudolph gets his arm hit. luckily gets his arm hit. Because that's a wobbler coming out. I think that easily could have been picked off if his arm had not been hit. It's debatable. But it looks like he was going to be leading McDonald too far. So there it is. There's his second half. Now, what do I think about Rudolph against the Rams today? Well, that's a good question, which I'm going to get into right now. Let's look real quick at the second half drives. The one that we started coming out of the half, that's perfectly fine. It was helped out with a 15-yard personal foul on Leonard when he shoved Juju out of bounds. But it was still a good drive, all in all. This is what frustrates me, and I'm going to talk about this a little more in depth here in a couple of minutes, is we started out at the 17, and we went 2 full yards in 4 plays. That's unacceptable. How many times do we see that? How many times have we seen that this year? Here's the other field goal that we got. How many of those 43 yards was on the bomb? On the underthrown pass to Washington? Well, 40 of them were. It's just terrible. Our red zone efficiency is just terrible. And that's what I'm gonna talk about here right now. Is we are 38% trips inside the red zone this year. 38%. Now that's also including Big Ben. But under Rudolph getting into the red zone, we've scored 5 touchdowns in 14 attempts. 2 of those being rushing touchdowns. So he has had 3 of 14 where he's thrown the ball. Well, where did those 3 come from? Well, 2 of them were in the Seattle game. One of them was a gift. That's that gift that we started out on the 3 and scored. The other one was just in the Colts game. And let's get into the Colts a little more here on these drives in the second half. Because that's what we're focusing on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plays, 7 drives in the second half. Now, like I said, I'm perfect. I like that. I like that drive. I like that drive coming out of half. But the 2 other drives, field goal. Field goal. And that field goal right before half, that was a gift. We cannot be getting into the red zone and floundering time after time after time. So since the Seattle game, Rudolph's thrown one touchdown in the red zone. In 11 attempts? 8 attempts, whatever it is. My math sucks right now. So, yeah. So 1 touchdown pass since the Seattle game in the red zone. So, but, he has not turned the ball over. And we're at a 95% scoring clip in the red zone this year. That's phenomenal. But they're field goals. And we're getting lucky winning these close games. As we got kind of unlucky losing some of those close games. A crazy stat that I also saw was 62.4% of his passing yards so far this year have been yards after catch. Well, what would it be? You take out these bombs that he's had. You know, he had the two huge touchdowns to wide open guys earlier in the year. Take those out. Take out the 40-yard play to Washington that was a terrible pass. And what do you end up with there? What happens on Juju's touchdown where he broke that earlier in the year? I think that might have been Cincinnati. No, I think it was Baltimore. It was Baltimore against Marlon Humphreys. What happens if he gets tackled? Where's the yards after catch go down? Now, part of what I'm going to say here is going to lead a little further. Actually, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on that. So you're going to have to listen to my thought a little further down the road here. Now, what do we have when we're going up against the Rams? You know, we're going up against the Defensive Player of the Year with Aaron Donald. Just a stallion. Jalen Ramsey, big part, huge trade acquisition. Shutdown corner. They are 29th giving up yards via the catch against the running backs. So will we see check down Rudy again? We wouldn't be surprised. Rudy will have to be playing to some of his strengths. You know, quick passes, no interceptions. Even though he should have been picked off a few more times. And he's got to stand tall in the pocket and take those hits like he has been taking. Those are his strengths, and he's got to play to those. He can't play to all these weaknesses that we're seeing out of him. Poor footwork. Are we seeing any progression with his footwork? No. Are we seeing any progression with his targets? Are we seeing him locked in? Yeah. That's continuing. Is he still having trouble stepping into a pass or working in a muddied pocket? Yeah, he is. He just cannot step into passes, does not have the footwork to get the arm strength going when he can't step into a pass. Yeah, I'm gonna put it all out here. You know, we've seen Rudolph through 5 starts. I thought this game was a regression game from the Miami game. The Miami game was pretty putrid the first half. Not saying the second half was anything special because it really wasn't. That's a bad Miami team. Yeah, and this Colts team was nothing special. Nothing special. Playing with their backup quarterback, who played a good game. But he played a good game because he was on the field a lot. Because of Rudolph not moving the chains. Not scoring those touchdowns. Missing wide open guys. Not seeing them. He's treating Juju Smith-Schuster like a second or third wide receiver on the field. You know, we saw a couple of plays where he threw slants. He was throwing to a spot. We've hardly seen that this year. And that's been the bread and butter of Big Ben. We saw that out of Devlin Hodges, where he was throwing the spots in that San Diego game. I think it was a digression. I really do. from that second half of the Miami game through the entire Colts game, I saw a quarterback who was afraid to throw the ball 15 yards down the field. He took exactly what the defense gave him. Dink and dunk. But we saw that McDonald get frustrated during the game. He's wide open. Juju hasn't shown the frustration, but will he? When he's constantly open. Constantly. He's open like 7-Eleven. All the time. Rudolph and Fichtner, they've got to get Juju involved. Now, is this a game to get Juju involved? Well, it depends on where Ramsey is. So this might not be the week. But, so that's going to lead me into the last thing I'm going to talk about. And this is probably not going to be popular. I'm going to fully say it. If Hodges struggles in the first half, I say bring in Duck. Bring in Devlin the second half. You know, I asked that before the last game. If Rudolph was on a long leash. And a lot of people said yeah. And I agreed. But the Colts game showed me absolutely nothing of Hodges. Nothing. What I was going to bring up earlier is Hodges is 2 of 5 throwing touchdowns in the red zone. Small sample size, you betcha. 40%, you betcha. But again, like Rudolph, he has not made mistakes. You know, and the biggest thing is when he came out in that Baltimore game after Rudy went down and he marched him right down the field, 65 yards, bam. Touchdown. Sure, he could have done better on that field goal that we took in the fourth. He was looking good when Juju fumbled in overtime. The San Diego game. Look at that first half. Look at that first half. 2 of 3 scores. Look how long those drives were. 9 minutes, 4 minutes. Touchdowns. Those are long, grinding drives. That started at the 14-play drive. Then he comes out right after half and brings him down the field to a field goal. Yeah, and then of course he was put on a big leash. And that interception, I'm still going to put half down on Holton, if not 3/4 of it on Holton. You guys can call it what you want, but, I've watched that clip a number of times. I'm not going to put it fully on Duck Devlin, Duck Dodges, as I like to call him, I guess. So, yeah. I want Rudy on a short leash. If it's 17-3 at half, and Rudolph's 12 of 13 with 37 yards. Yeah, absolutely. I'm saying it now. Bring in Hodges. Is it unfair for Rudy? I think we've seen. I'm not going to say we've seen enough of him. But I think it's time, if he struggles for one more quarter, that we see what Devlin Hodges can bring to the table. Hodges didn't embarrass himself in either one of in the Baltimore game or the San Diego game. Hodges did just fine. A lot of people will call me a Debbie Downer for some of my outlooks on the Steelers and some of the players. But, here's a quote I put up yesterday. I believe my role here is to burst bubbles and kill dreams with film and reality. Now, I'm going to put this up on a poll at BTSC. And I've been asking this for weeks. And I think you've kind of got the gist of what my answer is right now to this question. Did we win because of Rudy or in spite of him? Was it the same answer you wrote at the beginning? Is it the same answer that you had when I asked this question many weeks ago? I'm going to say no. We did not win that Colts game because of Rudy. We won that Colts game in spite of him. He should have had multiple interceptions that game. Could have. That safety. Well, what happens if, on the free kick, the Colts guy doesn't muff it? Then they're in business. And so there it is. I'm saying if Rudy doesn't perform in the first half, pull him. Bring in Hodges. If he doesn't perform for the whole game, if they leave him in there, they've got to seriously look at Hodges for the Cleveland game. Excuse me. All right. Well, there's my breakdown for the week. Hope you all enjoyed. This has been Flip Fisher. Be sure to give me a like. Please give me a subscribe. I would appreciate it. And ring that bell, because I am going to put up some more content that won't hit the BTSC website. There's probably going to be content right after I finish this. All right, all. Hope everybody has a good weekend and look forward to hopefully the Steelers beating the Rams and staying in the playoff hunt. And we will catch you laters.